Hey, and welcome to another episode here on arguingart.com. I, of course, am Micah Luke. I'm a graffiti artist in the Midwest, and alongside me is
Adam Sterner,
philosopher extraordinaire and happening man about town. This series is on pitfalls of philosophy arguments, pitfalls of arguments, and we will be covering Defeasible.
Defeasible.
Defeasible. Alright, so today on
Arguing Art.
Today.
Oh,
Yeah,
on this
I don't wanna
episode,
say
sure.
Rewind. Alright, well, welcome to this episode of Arguing Art, and we are going to cover, what he's going to cover, what a defeasible argument, right? Defeasible argument. That's,
Defeasible argument.
It keeps throwing me off what the next word should be. Defeasible,
Sure.
though, that is a new vocab word. That sounds like you should be able to park closer to the mall or something.
Well, actually, a defeasible argument isn't so much its own type of argument like an inductive argument or deductive argument is. It's basically, well, it is a condition that occurs to your argument. So you sit down and you lay out your inductive argument, which shame on you because you should be moving toward a deductive argument. Or you lay out your deductive argument, you have all your principles in there, you're positive it's valid, you're positive it's sound, and somebody presents a counter argument to you, or something happens where new information comes into your realm, and that new information causes your argument to become defeasible. Because of that new information, it's no longer valid, it's no longer sound, you can't stand by your argument. And the real linchpin to this, the way to avoid it, is to thoroughly research yourself and your topic. It's kind of saying, avoid talking about something that you don't know anything about. But avoid is the wrong word, actually. If you go into that, it's perfectly fine to talk and argue with someone about something that you're not well versed in yourself, as long as you're willing to take the chance of occurring several defeasible arguments along the way.
Well, and defeasibleness is not necessarily defeated.
No, it's not at all.
Defeatedness? We'll go with it. But
yeah.
I mean, like when we sit down and discuss philosophy, there is a certain amount of defeasibility in every argument. That's why we reject that argument, isn't it? Because I'll say, A because of B equals C, and you'll say, well, what about D? And I'll go, oh, I didn't think of that. Well, and then we'll adjust for this new information that's come in. I'll think of things that will find a fault in the new argument that we've created, and that's, to me, defeasibility is just a very inherent and necessary part.
It is very much so. I can't remember who said it, but there is the quote out there that when you make a mistake, you should make it out loud. It might have been Samuel Clemens. I'm going to go with
Mark
that.
Twain.
Yes, Mark Twain.
For those of you who don't know.
But that really applies to defeasibility too. I know I said earlier, like, you should well verse yourself in your subject.
Which is definitely true.
And that's true if you want to avoid your argument becoming defeasible.
Yep.
But your argument can be defeasible. Like Micah said, that doesn't mean it's defeated. It just means you're moving forward, gaining more information. It's a necessary step on the process to fully exploring your topic.
Well, and that kind of harkens back to me a little bit on the whole idea of how this is a journey together. How it's not, when Adam and I sit down and discuss philosophy, which we never actually do. Have you ever thought about that? We don't, call each other up and say, hey, you want to go discuss philosophy tonight?
It just happens.
Yeah, we'd go, hey, you want to go grab coffee? And then
you get
pretty
together.
Much invariably, we cover philosophy.
Some topic pops up. You start discussing the points that make it mean what it is.
Right.
And then new information pops up, rendering my argument or Micah's argument defeasible. Thank you, counter argument. And we move forward.
And so neither of us lose, neither of us win. I mean, it's the journey together. So if you get told that your argument is defeasible, don't feel bad. That's the way it goes. That's the way it should go.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, now clarify a little bit. Does defeasible come in more on the premises or on the conclusion? Or on the relationships in between?
It would be the relationships in between.
Okay.
Because you might, in a good deductive argument, each of your premises are true. Well, if you find out one of those premises are no longer true, so really it is actually on all parts. It can be injected in any portion of your argument.
Okay.
If you find out that one of those premises aren't true any longer, makes your argument defeasible.
Right.
You find out that those premises don't follow to make the conclusion true, well, it's defeasible. No longer matters, as long as new information was interjected into your argument.
But it's the new information part that makes it defeasible, right? So if someone just plain rejects your logic, saying A plus B does not necessarily equal C, not because of the new information, they're just saying, no, that's just not legit. Is that still considered defeasible, or is that just...
No, that's just a bad argument.
Okay.
It's a bad argument that doesn't follow. When that new information is put in...
Bad argument.
When you find the new information, then all of a sudden you're faced with, oh, well, that argument's become defeasible.
Yeah.
You can't go forward with that path anymore, and you need to use that new information to reform your premises towards your conclusion to have a valid deductive argument. Yep. Very
cool. Well, that is defeasibility. Is there anything else with that we should know? I mean, that we covered the fact that it's it invalidates an argument based off new information or information that the arguer did not have, essentially, right?
Yes.
Okay. And it has to do with all parts, not just the relationship or the premises or the conclusion, but anytime that new information is invoked, that's defeasibility-ness.
Yes.
Defeasibleness? I don't know what the...
And I guess the other important thing to remember is if your argument is called defeasible because new information is put in, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You can research it to help avoid that happening, but in all reality, your argument becoming defeasible invalidates it, but it sets you up to start building a new one, which is the fun of the process.
Yeah. Well, that's defeasible. Or actually, it's feasible. It's feasible. You can grasp this concept. Join us on arguingart.com. If you are watching this on YouTube or Vimeo or anything like that, come over to the website. We've got commentary. We've got user involvement. That's where the real meat of the conversation is taking place, so make sure to pop on by. For Adam Cerner and Michael Luke, this is Arguing Art, and thank you very much for joining us.